standing in a field, listening to a local band called Malice in Wonderland. A man scurries over to me. He looked like if Samwise Gamgee had gone on the Atkins diet and joined a folk band. He asked if I wanted any fairy dust. I asked him what he had, and he reached into his purple crushed velvet jacket and pulled out a menu that looked like a children's Christmas list, all covered in glitter and gold stars. I appreciated the effort rather than the artistic merits. He read it like a maitre d' reading a wine list. And he had everything. Uppers, downers, screamers, laughers. I got jack beans, Krankenstein, Gandalf's naughty nutmeg, rufflecopters, annihilation, reindeer pie, and some Colin. Krankenstein is a loved-up floaty buzz, but it can make you squirm and contour, so best taken at night. Rufflecopter is a good daytime one, still floaty, but you're not going to gurn, just hover around for a few hours. I chose 2 Rufflecopters and a Krankenstein, just in case I want to get twisted later. He reached into his khaki hemp rucksack and pulled out a small box labelled Daco's Tuck Shop with alphabetically coded little drawers in it. He must have been a trained pharmacist, this guy. A Middle-earth Chaven Jackson's. I was so impressed, I brought some Squidgy Black for good measure. It was 13:08, and still no sign of her. She definitely said 1500 by the garden stage, next to the big flag that said Obama for president. And when she gets here, remember, play it cool. Don't drink too much, and don't be yourself. I'm nodding my head to the music like a stoned Churchill dog, thanking God for my sunglasses. My eyes look like pissholes in the snow. Maybe she's got lost, stuck in some mud, or maybe she's being chatted up by the skinny jean brigade. Oh, of course, that's what will have happened. She'll text me later with an excuse and making something up to save my feelings. Had to leave, family emergency, or I've eaten some dodgy noodles, or my mate's taken mushrooms and she's screaming like a banshee and I can't leave her. Just a little white lie to save my already fragile feelings from being shattered. All right, James. God, I love her voice. Sorry I'm late. I got nabbed by a chugger and ended up signing up for a direct debit so I could get away. Oh, no workers! I hadn't even noticed you were late. No workers? Where the fuck did that come from? We leave the garden stage and walk and talk for hours, chatting about family and ex-partners. We both come out of long-term relationships, and so we could open up about how alone we'd felt earlier in the year and how we were now finding peace in the vicissitudes of brokenness. We lament about love and loss, like we've known each other for an eternity. We flip between deep and meaningful conversation and embracing our bizarre and unearthly, insane surroundings. We stop to help a guy who's squirming about in a muddy puddle. He looked blissfully happy, like a literal pig in shit. We try on some crazy outfits. I almost buy a World War II helmet with glitter and peace signs all over, and an ankle length for a coat. She was wearing angel wings and a Russian Cossack hat with gold Jackie Onassis-style sunglasses. She asks some random guy to take our photo. We could show that to our grandkids, I say. Fuck. Don't say shit like that out loud. Typical. You've fallen in love in 3 hours. To be honest, I'd been looking at her Facebook page earlier in the week. I almost had an anxiety attack when I thought I'd accidentally liked a photo of her in a bikini. We hit the cocktails, sitting at some makeshift tables made of old cable spools at the top of the festival, overlooking the joyous and enchanted chaos. The cocktails were Herefordshire themed: Bromyard Bramble, Mockus Mule, and Nell Gwyn's Quim. I'm not sure if it was the Rufflecopter or Nell Gwyn's Quim, but I was in a state of nirvana, just people watching and chatting about the most random topics. From my dislike of Neil Buchanan off of Art Attack, to the fact that Marco Pierre White's stuffed pig's trotter is a rip-off of a Pierre Kaufmann recipe. I had always thought that if I ever found the one, my one true love, she would know that I wanted G.A. Escoffier's A Guide to Modern Cookery as a gift. Not because I asked for it. She would just know. We both agreed how annoying Greg Wallace is when he keeps his spoon in his mouth for too long after he's eaten a panna cotta. I adored this moment and had a secret, joyful weep. Just connecting with someone, when 24 hours previously I'd pretty much thought such a thing was impossible. One tear, just one tear. Thank God for sunglasses. We head to the main stage as both of us really want to see the anomalies. We pogo around like bellends and end up in the melee at the front of the stage. I'm pretty sure I elbowed a 14-year-old girl smack bang in the nose during their big hit Don't Text Me Back. They do a freestyle section at the end and ask for objects to be thrown on stage. I had to dodge an umbrella, a flapjack and a tampon still in its wrapper. Then they ask people to shout out words for the freestyle. I whisper in her ear, "I bet someone says orange." In seconds, a group of lads shout, "Orange!" She thinks I'm Mystic Meg or something, but I've seen the anomalies before and it always happens. We head back to our tents to grab something warmer to wear and just walk around the festival, into the insane nooks and crannies. The festival takes on a different dynamic at night. We walk around the whole perimeter, seeing the wide, beautiful demographic of this crazy shire. Fire jugglers, budgie smugglers, drum and bassers, old school ravers, drinking Bellinis, men in mankinis, lost the plotters, acid blotters, self-obsessors and cross-dressers, midnight confessions, lost possessions, random stranger, gurning teenager, the dreadlock, the shell-shocked, bongo player and soothsayer, smokers, tokers, bad t-shirt jokers, guardian readers, crystal healers, small-time dealers, Buddhist monk, Mohawk punk, pisshead drunk, solo dance, late night bounce, round of applause, lost cause, banging tune. I've peaked too soon. Man, I'm walking on the moon. And then things change. We're in the dance tent and we're drenched in sweat when she sees someone. He's good looking, there's no denying it. Top off, sweating, perfect teeth. I can tell he likes her. She throws her arms around his neck and he lifts her up and spins her around as he greets her. And suddenly, I'm invisible. I've misjudged this. What was I thinking? I try and pretend I'm into the music as they chat, craning into each other's ears to hear one another. My feet feel heavy. I'm dancing, but all I'm thinking is I want this wanker with the washboard abs and pierced nipple to disappear. And he does. Just like that. Who was that? I try and ask in the most nonchalant way possible while shouting loudly over the music. I've no idea, she says. A friend of my brother's, I think. I can't remember. He's a bit weird. Should we get out of here? We find ourselves in the corner of a field. There are about 25 people gathered around a guy playing a guitar. You can barely see him, just some bamboo lanterns staggered around under the magnetic blue hue of the fluorescent moon. Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. My brain's doing overtime. I know this song. Christ, I know that voice. It's my Middle-earth drug dealer. He's got a velvet, croaky voice. Like it was soaked in a vat of whiskey, hung up in a smokehouse, taken outside and run over by a combine harvester. I gaze at her. She starts to sway, starts singing on her own. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I grab her hand and we make a sort of W shape with our arms. We sing the lyrics like our life depends on it, swaying from side to side. This song has somehow summed up the whole day and this whole night. We are singing and smiling gleefully, belting out the last hallelujahs, and she puts her head on my shoulder. And I think, this is the perfect time to kiss her. Or have I read the whole thing wrong? But as the last hallelujahs are being sung by everyone around us, we look at each other and we begin to tilt our heads.
Nozstock, a love story, was written by James Ryan. It was performed by Richard Monk and directed by Tim Evans with sound design by Adam Welsh. It is a Powerhouse digital production supported by Arts Council England and Herefordshire Great Place.